And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome one and all to the monthly finals. Welcome to the Sparkling Tuna Cup. Sparkling Tuna Cup November 2025 finals. Here we go. We are here. We are back. We are here. We are back with our monthly finals. Again, the Sparkling Tuna Cup is a weekly tournament. Every single week, we host this event, and players accumulate points over time to qualify for the end of month tournament. Here we go. Exclamation mark, be in the chat to have a look at the bracket yourselves. The bracket is live, the bracket is stacked, and let us quickly head on over here. From the top, we have our top 8 players for the month. We have NightMare, we have YoungYakov, Christiana, Classic, Björn, Shameless, Skillless, and Percival. Here we go. We are jumping into our first series of the broadcast. We're jumping into our PvZ, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Ruby Rock, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the teal Protoss for Streamer Zone. It is NightMare. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Zerg player himself. It is YoungYakov. And very quickly, if you're in the chat, very quickly, predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we get our gamba going. Likewise, a big shout out to Sammy in the chat. Samuel. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session. Hope you had a great time. Welcome one and all to the Sparkling Tuna Cup November finals. Again, these are the top players of our tournaments of the weekly Open Cups of November, and they're facing off here in an invitational 8-player bracket. Here we go. Now we do have 2 series happening at the same time. YoungYakov versus NightMare is going to be happening at the same time as Christiana versus Classic. So we have 2 best of 3s occurring at the same time. Meanwhile, we do have Björn versus Shameless and Skillless versus Percival taking place after the fact. Going to be taking place after the fact. That'll be later on this evening, of course. So now we can focus on our PvZ. So far, so good. And again, welcome one and all. Ruby Rock is one of the more aggressive maps in the map pool, one of the smaller maps, shorter rush distance by ground. Aggression is favored here on Ruby Rock, and we do expect to see an all-in. Like YoungYakov, he's been known for aggressive builds and aggressive styles in PvZ, so we're expecting a 3-base all-in or 3-base play out of YoungYakov. We'll see how NightMare reacts. NightMare, he's not the most standard of players. From time to time, he's known for being a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more in your face, a little bit unorthodox at times. Doesn't have to play standard, so we'll see if he does go for an early tech choice and early timing. Oh boy. We shall see. We'll see if he does set up. Oh, one momento. There we go. Beautiful. For the time being, though, we do have our standard openers. So far, everything's looking as it should. We're about to get into our tech of choice inside of Protoss. So it is Stargate opener out of NightMare. Everything's looking normal so far. Everything's looking standard. Now, we briefly did mention how this map favors aggression. How so? The third base. As you can see here, the third base is very open, is very accessible here on the left-hand side. Likewise, we do have another entrance here, another wider entrance coming in towards the natural as well. Because this, it can be quite difficult to defend. The arc of the aggressing player is a little bit wider. On top of that, the rush distance is quite short, and the path is very direct here in towards the third base. Unlike on other maps, there's no ramp, right? There's no ramp, there's no elevation here to help defend that third. Likewise, I can say the same about the fourth base as well. So we often see shorter games on Ruby Rock. It is quite rare to see a longer macro game on this map. Not impossible, just rare. Just rarer here. So for now, we're joining with saturating. We have link speed on the way. So far, YoungYakov, he pulls out of gas, gathering his minerals, getting his third base up and running, and will soon be able to get into that 3-base aggression. That's what we're expecting, at least. We'll keep an eye on his tech. We'll see if he maybe does decide to drone up and get a 4th base and get into an infestation pit and builds up into a 4-base economy. It is still going to be on the table here. Our eyes are on YoungYakov. For now, here comes the first Oracle. First Oracle does move out across the map. Just catching up. Good to see you. Como siempre. YoungYakov is link flooded. Jesus. We have 18 links. 18 links are on the way. The Oracle does dip in. The Oracle gets eyes on some link production, but doesn't quite see everything yet. Yeah, a handful of links have been spotted. Just a handful. We have more rushing across the map. The goal here is to delay the third base, but now there's a second Oracle in position. Yeah, the second Oracle is here. These links, they shouldn't force a cancel. Yeah, they shouldn't be able to, and this is a big investment. Remember, 18 links were made, plus the links before that as well. That was a big investment here by YoungYakov. You can see they're banking up here on the left-hand side. We have 2 groups of links, and if they don't do any damage, I mean, that's just inadvertent damage dealt to YoungYakov. They could have been drones, essentially. All these links could have been workers, could have been drones, and we could have had a greater economy. So the pressure is on Yakov. Overlook goes in, earlier Twilight Council, a bit of a later forge here out of NightMare, interesting. With this, it looks like early blink into potentially 8-gate blink play on 3 bases. Basically, delayed forge, later upgrades in favor of faster blink being researched. Because Stalkers come online that much faster, that means that NightMare can apply pressure faster as well, and NightMare's goal should be to apply pressure and potentially deny the 4th base. So the 4th base of Yakov is going to be under fire. Once again, these things, they still have some potential, at least setups. They move that across the map, and now it's time to counterattack. Here we go, Lings, they collapse on the expansion on the 3rd, going straight for the Nexus itself. At the same time, here come the Adepts. And can Yakov defend? Like, he's attacking, that's great and all, and it looks like he should kill the 3rd. It's going to be close. The Oracle's race back home, but it looks like the 3rd base will be killed. Just barely. The race goes down. Meanwhile, the Adepts, they were dealt with. No shot. Okay, they came back home. Adepts looks like they recalled back home, actually. So they went back home, which means no counter damage. No damage dealt to the Zerg player. NightMare, he lost his 3rd base. That big investment of links was worth it. I was concerned that it would be just too big of an investment and that he wouldn't get any damage done, but no, he kills the 3rd. It's okay, and he still has the links left over. Still has them left over, surrounds 3 Adepts. Ooh, the Oracles are here though. Yeah, not quite worth it. And not worth it for YoungYakov. He gets shut down by the Oracles. Behind this, getting into +1 melee. Safety Roach Warren. Now this Roach Warren, I feel like we shouldn't really invest into Roach speed or into Roach production, but just in case it's there, in case NightMare were to go for an all-in and be hyper-aggressive, there is a safety Roach Warren available. Behind this, the blink is almost done. You see, blink is almost complete. We just ignored +1 entirely. No upgrade on the forge. We're rushing into Storm though, so NightMare, it looks like he wants to turtle up. I said turtle up, he wants to saturate his 3rd base. What we're seeing here is Storm is indicative of a later timing, so NightMare, he's taking his gases, he's long distance mining. NightMare, if he wanted to be aggressive, now he cannot. He doesn't have the economy to sustain Blink Stalker aggression, he's stuck at home. So Yakov is in a better position. He's getting his 4th base, and the 4th base should get up and running, and behind this, Lingbane Hydra is the tech of choice. As we mentioned previously, this Roach one should just be for safety. Like, if there's an all-in coming, then he can make them, but ideally you avoid Roach production. Ideally, YoungYakov does not make any roaches. Pulls away with his lings. Speaking of, it looks like he did make a handful. Yeah, just the 1 roach. Just the 1. Yakov pulls away, drones up, and now eyes are on NightMare here. NightMare, he's walling off. He's throwing down gateways, cannons, he's walling up his 3rd. Ay, ay, ay. There's Jesus. Oh my god. NightMare, it looks like he's landed on Ruby Rock before. I mean, if you recall, what did I say at the beginning of this game? I was like, all-ins are common, and we expect YoungYakov to go for a 3-base all-in. It looks like NightMare, he's reading that, and he throws down a wall of cannons, shield batteries, a wall off of gateways, a wall of stasis traps. NightMare, he's ready for an all-in that isn't coming. Yakov, he droned. Yakov, he went up to 4-base saturation, 5th base is on the way. Like, Yakov, he is amassing Lingbane Hydra, but if he wanted to, he could throw down Infestation, but he doesn't have to push into this. And I hope he doesn't. Like, Yakov, he has a solid economy, he can just take up into Lurkers. NightMare, he's ready for an all-in, and Yakov, he's giving NightMare what he wants. Like, Yakov, we can just calm down. He's going for it. Okay. Yeah, Yakov is going to commit. Again, basically, Yakov, he's choosing not to get Infestation Bit, he's choosing not to get a Hive, he's choosing not to get a Lurker Den, so he might have a high economy, but the quality of the army is very mid-tier. Oh! Massive connections! Yeah, Banelings, they crash in, 2-eye Templar just go down. At the same time, Banelings, they go for the Templar, don't quite connect this time, and NightMare's holding. Yeah, NightMare's holding on. The longer this goes on, the better it is for NightMare. Because again, YoungYakov, he's choosing to stay on a Lair Tech army. That's why this is like a pseudo like 4-base all-in essentially. Sure, he has a lot of workers, but that doesn't really mean anything. What matters here is the fact that YoungYakov has no intention for the game to last any longer. YoungYakov, he intends to end the game early. It's meant to end now. This is meant to kill. And Yakov, he's trying to get a better angle. 13 more banelings on the way. Banelings are trying to make their way in. Nice Storms. Oh, good. Yeah, Storms, they shut down the banelings. The 4th base does go down. But the Storms were good enough. Oh, High Templar exposed. Yeah, the High Templar on the front lines. Every Templar goes down. 0 Templar left. And Yakov, he's bleeding out a lot of Hydras here. Nice blink out of NightMare. He does punish YoungYakov. We got 26 more Lings on the way. And we have a bit of a give and take. On the one hand, Yakov did kill all the High Templar. Nice. That means that Storms are going to be late, if not non-existent. Ooh, and NightMare's overextending. On the flip side, YoungYakov did lose a lot of Hydras, so it was an expensive loss. Do we have any more Templar? We do. Yeah, 4 Templar. And remember, as we mentioned before, Yakov, he is all in here, and he's refusing to really tech up any further. Meanwhile, what is NightMare doing? He's building up more Templars, building up a 4th base. If NightMare can stabilize, he will take a lead. And Yakov, yeah, he admits defeat. I say admits defeat. Drones. He's making drones, and that's his infestation pits. And a second Evo chamber. YoungYakov, he's admitted, okay, I can't kill you. It's not working. I cannot kill you. I can try to get some more damage done, but clearly the game is going to last longer. I need to get a hive. So thankfully, Yakov, he's, recognized the game state. Recognize what's going on. Oh god, oh god. Massive storms. Yeah, the storms are crazy. And again, because this is a late infestation bit, it's going to be a late hive, late lurkers, late tech. It does, as banelings do catch the Templar, very nice. I was going to say that there's going to be a window in time here where NightMare has the advantage, where NightMare has momentum, where you can kill Yakov before all this hive tech really gets going. There's that lurker den. Again, lurker den is just now being researched here at almost 12 minutes at 11:20. So this is a very scary, very tense situation here for YoungYakov. He just has to do everything he can to keep the Protoss busy until he gets lurkers. That's the win condition here, is just buy time. Meanwhile, NightMare's coming. Oh god. NightMare's pushing in. How many Templar? Only 1? Oh, he's crazy. He's pushing onto Kree with 1 Templar. Bappy, where are the storms? He's got 1. Zelt run right here on top side. Zelt's into the main base. Main army does push in, and he's got 1 Templar. He's got limited storms. Can he make this work? Storm on the banelings, Lings coming from behind. There's only 1 storm. Yeah, we still don't have enough time for the other. Lings J trade well against the Stalkers. But in a couple of seconds, he's gonna have another storm. And NightMare, he's breaking through. He's breaking through at the same time. Zelts in the main base were cleaned up. The prism went down, which means no more reinforcements. NightMare, he's banking 1,000 minerals. We need to warp in. He needs those zealots. It's an okay storm, a little bit premature. Zealots take it into the mineral line, but it looks like YoungYakov is holding. Yakov is holding on. It was close. NightMare, he almost broke through. Does get some drones at least. Drones going down. And NightMare throws out a fleet beacon. Sky toss. NightMare, he has recognized that he himself cannot kill his opponent. Again, if he only had like maybe 2-3 more High Templar, if the earlier Templar didn't get killed by the banelings, true, then that could have been enough to kill YoungYakov. It was close. It was close, but lurkers have arrived. So Yakov, he survived until lurker tech. NightMare has to back off, and he has to slowly tech up into Sky Toss. And now the momentum swings from one player to the other. I mentioned earlier that NightMare had the advantage until lurkers. Lurkers are now out. Now Yakov has the advantage until Sky Toss. So it's been very intense. It's been very intense. Very back and forth. NightMare, he's securing his 4-base setup. Again, the Tempests are slowly amassing, building up this Tempest. And we are getting into a longer and later game. I mentioned at the beginning of this series how, hey, we rarely get any kind of late game here on Ruby Rock. And I'll be honest, I think this is the first time I'm seeing almost a split map scenario here with a Zerg player getting up to 6, soon to be 7 bases. But neither player wanted to be here. Is the thing. Like, Yakov, he fully intended to end the game earlier. Likewise, NightMare did the same thing. So we're kind of forcing each other into a longer game. No one wants to be here. No one. Ah, no. That is into the main base. The lurkers, they do bust in. And so far they're trading well. Zelsi just get annihilated. Another Templar! No! Ooh, 2 Templar. 2, 3 Templar go down. Miscontrol at a NightMare. Ay. Throws away 3. No, throws away all 5. All 5 Templar go down. Not like this, Pappy. And we just blink into the lurkers. Yeah, lurkers, they trade so well. No detection. Yeah, 0 detection. Stalkers get punished. What was the trade here? 9 lurkers for what? For 5 High Templar. 5 High Templar, 2 Immortals, 14 Stalkers. Oh my god. So much gas thrown away, and there's still lurkers in the main. And Yakov, he may have just done it. That one Nidus into the main base may have just won the game here. Again, still 0 detection. Yakov, he traded so well. Finally, the Observer arrives. Observer comes in. Yakov going for double Spire if he ever needs it. I mean, Tempest are slowly amassing. But Yakov, he has crippled a NightMare. And now it's the time to press that advantage. Just keep going, Bappy. Just keep going. Ooh. Cannon goes down. Gateway as well. That's lurkers. They do waddle in. So you're just trying to trade well. Here comes the main army here towards the 4th base. Storms are ready. Yakov, can he break through? Do a reaction time? Oh no, no reaction! No reaction. High Templar go down. Mineral line as well. Late reaction at NightMare. He was distracted by the lurkers. Ay. And Yakov has done it. Yakov, he has done it. NightMare, he wasn't looking, Pappy. He wasn't looking. And with that, the 4th base will fall. GG gets called. And YoungYakov will take game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Yakov does take a lead in the series, a very intense game number 1, and we'll see if he can likewise close it out here and now, coming into game number 2. Let's go. Let us go. So now jumping to game 2. Game 2 is going to be on Celestial Enclave. Soon TM, hold on. There we go, beautiful. We're gonna be loading into Celestial Enclave here for game number 2. Players are getting ready. And we're jumping in. For those who are curious what the Vitas are and what the map order is, game 1 was on Ruby Rock, of course. Game 2 is Celestial, and if we get to game 3, it'll be on Taito Citadel. But here we go. Whew, and again, sorry, was just trying to make the lobby. But talking about the game itself here, it was very aggressive, very intense, which is what we expected out of YoungYakov. As we mentioned, you know, all-ins are very common on Ruby Rock. But NightMare successfully defended. He successfully weathered the storm. He survived the early aggression. He was able to build up on 4 bases, and then he went for his own counterattack. Unfortunately, the push from NightMare was lacking. It was definitely missing some teeth there. If you remember, imagine, we were talking about it, imagine if the Baneling Run-By hadn't killed 3-Eyed Templar previously. If he had 4 Templar with that move out, he most likely ends the game. But remember, he only had 1. He only had 1 High Templar, so he only had 1.5 storms. He eventually had a 2nd storm as well, but his storms were so limited because of the earlier Baneling Run-By and the earlier counterattack, and that did weaken the push. And if that hadn't happened, different game, different kind of outcome. Instead, it went into a longer and later game, but it is so difficult to turtle up and defend and actually build up an economy on Ruby Rock. But now we load into a much larger map. Spawning in the top right hand corner of Celestial Enclave, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the Teal Protoss representing Streamer Zone. It is NightMare. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the red Zerg player. The red Zerg player himself leading the series 1-0. It is YoungYakov. Here we go. Whew, and oh my god, we're going gasless. Jesus. So we have a very greedy build. Gasless opener out of YoungYakov going hatch before gas and before pool. Hyper greed out of Yakov. And NightMare has yet to go for a probe scout. He goes for a gate expand, no probe scout whatsoever. NightMare, he does not see what's going on, doesn't realize how greedy YoungYakov is being. And again, as I mentioned, gasless. No gas. It is hatch, pool into a very late gas geyser. Now, going gasless here is viable on Celestial Enclave, just like in previous seasons. If you've been watching StarCraft over the past couple of years, you will know there have been a couple of maps and there have been a couple of map pools that do allow for this. I'm thinking of Crimson Court, for example. I'm thinking of El Dorado. I'm thinking of even, oh god, I'm terrible with names. Even the map in the previous map pool that did have a goal base in the center as well. Thinking of that map, I'm thinking of Radis's Station as well, but there are certain maps that do have essentially a pocket base. That's what I'm getting at here. They have essentially a pocket base. So because of this, when you're expanding on 3 bases as a Zerg player, you only have one area to defend against a ground army. You know, this is mainly seen against Terran, for example, because Hellion Rambais cannot touch the pocket. Like, they cannot touch the space. The only way you can get in here is with Banshee Harass or Drop Play, which is hitting later after the starport is researched, after it's produced. And usually a starport is delayed because you're going for a CC before starport as well, a third CC I mean. So this is a very common build in ZVT, specifically on maps like Celestial Enclave, that allow the Zerg player to focus their defenses in one area, which is here, the ramp. Now, against Protoss, it's a little bit different because it's very common to see Stargate openers, and of course Oracles can wreak havoc, but as long as you get your Queens in position, they can defend. Meanwhile, NightMare, he goes Void Ray first, not Oracle. Not built to harass, built to deny vision and deny scouting. So we have NightMare being cheeky, hunting down the Overlord and denying vision from YoungYakov. Meanwhile, NightMare didn't scout, doesn't realize that YoungYakov is being hyper greedy and cutting a lot of corners, and will have a boosted economy and a stronger mid game as a result. So coming into this, I do prefer YoungYakov's position. At the same time, NightMare is also quick to take a third, but the question becomes, now what does YoungYakov do with this boosted economy? Well, because gases are delayed, you often skip link speed. And you can see, yep, we're skipping link speed. This is very common, you see it in ZVT as well. Just because your gas is so late, it's not worth getting into link speed, and in ZVT, it often leads into roach play. In ZVP, muta play. I would say that Lair into fast spire into gases is there's a very high chance that that's a plan here for YoungYakov to go into mutas. Meanwhile, Void Ray does poke in, will threaten the Queen, but it's going to be zoned away. And once again, because of the Void Ray opener, NightMare, he has no oracles, and because there are no oracles, it is difficult to scout for NightMare. So Void Ray pokes in, gets eyes on some saturation, gets eyes on some income. Doesn't confirm the timing of the lair, so again, NightMare, he doesn't really know what's happening here. He himself is going into his own blink, so +1 blink, standard follow-up out of NightMare. Gas is being taken, link speed is indeed being researched, and the question becomes, are we indeed going for a Spire? The answer is no, we're going for a Hydra Den. Okay, so we are rushing into Hydra Tech, not into Spire Tech. And now the question becomes, are we going to get Eva Chambers? Are we going to get upgrades? Are we going to tech up? Or are we going for an all-in? So this is where the gas is being spent on, getting to Hydra Tech. 4th base is on the way. Personally, I still would have preferred to see muta play here out of YoungYakov. I think there could have been a lot of potential with that, but he also didn't scout himself, so he didn't know that there were no oracles necessarily. It could have been Void Ray into Oracle. Ooh, as NightMare, he's being greedy, going double robo. Let me ask you a question. What is the army for NightMare? He's got a Void Ray, he's got 2 Stalkers, and he's got 2 Adepts. That's it. This is the army, by the way. NightMare, he has 0 warp-ins. He's skipping warp-ins. He's throwing down a massive wave of production of tech, double robo, bay, +1, blink. NightMare has nothing. If Yakov was going for an all-in, NightMare would just topple over and just die. Like NightMare, he has nothing right now. Yeah. So right now it's a game of greed. Right now it is a full game of greed here. NightMare cutting all the corners to get his production, to get his tech, to saturate his 3rd base. At the same time, Yakov also has been quite greedy himself, and I see Overlord speed. So Overlord speed is usually indicative of a German taxi, of an all-in. Speaking of, YoungYakov, he drones up to 74, drones up to 3.5 base saturation, getting a 4th base, and we're teching up. We're not going for an all-in. So we're in a really weird position here. Yakov did invest into this army. He's being active. He is going for a massive Doom drop. So as we mentioned, Overlord speed is indicative of, I was going to say, a German taxi of Drop Lord play. It is going to be Drop Lords. It is going to be a Doom drop. But Yakov, he has plans to maybe tech up if he needs to. Okay. So here we go. We're loading up. Now we do have some warp ins here. Now again, because this is hitting later, we're already coming up to 7 minutes. The gateways have gotten up and running. Robots are up and running as well. We do get a massive warp in. And NightMare, he's ready with his Blink Stalkers. He's ready with his Colossus. Uh-oh, Void Ray Dust Scout. Dust what? We can unload. Yeah, we have to unload. We cannot commit. Oh no! Full Overlord goes down. Lose a full Dropper Lord. And the Stalkers are ready. They can bounce. And the Yakov, he pulls away. Yeah, he does pull away. He will lose another. Oh my god, barely not. So just losing one full Overlord. Yakov has to pull away, and now it's time to drone. So Yakov is in a really awkward position here where his droning is delayed. Is a little bit delayed here, so his saturation is not ideal, but he is now Hive Tech. Now he has the Lurker Den. Thankfully, he got the Infestation bit. So thankfully, he had, the tools he needed to get in towards Viper Tech, to Hydra Lurker Viper, ideally, in the mid-game. Now, because of the attempted and failed Doom drop of YoungYakov, NightMare has a window. He has a window in time where he can move out with potentially 4 Colossus, by the way. Like, this is crazy. He's going to have a 3rd Colossi, so he's building up to 3. He's got his Prism, he's got his Stalkers, he has +1, +2 is almost done. So ideally, we hit with +2. So +2 is about to finish, and NightMare can soon push. Does he have charge? No. Oh, okay, so no charge lots. Interesting. It's a very tech-heavy army. We got some layer tech lurkers morphing in for Yakov. He has to take whatever he can get. And our layer tech lurker is going to be enough, because this is a terrifying army. And NightMare is moving in. The lurker is getting in position. Green goes down. Lurker range is still on the way. As NightMare is looking for a way in. At the same time, very nice run by. Yeah, nice counter attack. Yakov is going for the 4th. He will force a kill. He gets a kill. Yeah, he gets a kill, not a cancel. And NightMare turns everything back around. And I was concerned, if this run by didn't occur, NightMare probably pokes in. He pokes in, he picks off lurkers, he threatens the base. But no, his forces turn everything back around. And you know what else? NightMare would have killed bottom right. Bottom right is so exposed. Lurkers are in position to defend only some expansions, not the others. Not the fringe bases. And now NightMare doesn't have a 4th. And no 4th base. Ay. Disruptors are on the way, but that's what the Vipers are for. Vipers are coming. They're getting ready with their reductions. The Lunkers, they do waddle in. At the same time, the Hydra drop actually comes into play. Gets into the mineral line. Once again, distracts NightMare. NightMare's distracted. Vipers, they want those Colossi. He gets 1, he gets 2, he gets 3. Yeah, 3 Colossus go down. Massive pickups, no more splash damage. And no more splash damage here. And again, NightMare, he has no setup for Storm, for High Templar. He's not ready for Sky Toss or anything of that nature. Oof. NightMare having a very hard time keeping up. And he's heavily reliant on disruptors of all things, which are likewise still vulnerable to Vipers, by the way. Oof. And NightMare turns everything back around, races back home. YoungYakov, he now has gained map control. And with that control, is going once again for the 4th. And there's an opening into the natural. The disruptors. And Novas are going off. That's another kill. That's another kill, not a cancel. Novas, they do connect. Get these connections. Here come the abductions. Gets another disruptor. 1 disruptor remains. GG gets called. There's just too much here. Those will drop back into the natural. And YoungYakov, he will take the series 2-0. Whew. GG. Ay, GG, well played. Congratulations here to YoungYakov. He does claim the series. Very, very impressive play here out of our Zerg player. Once again, game one, I was favoring Yakov just because the map was smaller, it was shorter, it favors aggression. But coming into game number two, we had some really quirky play, of course. We had some unique builds. Winding it back, remember, how did the game begin? With YoungYakov cutting corners and going gasless. And remember, NightMare never probe scouted. He did not probe scout, so NightMare, he never had the opportunity to try to punish the greedier build of YoungYakov. Behind that, we saw that NightMare, he tried to be greedy in his own way, tech up quite heavily. That is true, he did tech up quite heavily, but YoungYakov, thankfully for him, despite building up towards a very strong drop play, very strong doom drop, he pivoted away very quickly, pivoted into lurker tech, and what was really the MVP there was the counterattack, was the Ling Hydra counterattack. We spoke about that moment. That was a moment where YoungYakov, he was able to hit the fourth base, able to get a kill, not a cancel, and force NightMare all the way back home. We spoke about it. If that didn't happen, if there was no counterattack or run by there, NightMare, he either pushes in and trades well against the lurkers and threatens the base, or he at least kills bottom right, because bottom right was an expansion that was left completely isolated and would have gone down the economy as well, and then we would have had it back and forth. But the run bys, the counterattacks, they were non-stop from YoungYakov, even making use of the Dropper Lords later, right? The Dropper Lord play failed, but even later on towards the end of the game, you saw that, hey, Hydra Drop actually came into the natural as well, so did eventually make use of the Dropper Lords, really nice thing run bys and counterattacks, and GG. GG, well played. With that, YoungYakov, he will claim the series, and he will advance on into the next round. Let's go. Let us go. As let's catch up on the rest of the bracket. Here we go. As we have some updates here. We have some updates in the bracket. So we have Yakov. Yakov does take down NightMare 2-0. And we have another update. Wait, what the hell? Oh my god. Hold on. So, I don't know if you noticed, we have a theme. We have a little bit of a theme here when it comes to our bracket here. I mean, first things first, we have the top players. The top players of Tuna Cup are facing off here in the monthly finals, in the November finals. Yakov takes down NightMare. I was leaning towards Yakov in this match. Cristiano 2-0 Classic. Hold on. And I don't know if you noticed the theme, but in every series in the first round, we have Europe versus Korea. We have Europeans versus Koreans here. So we have Yakov versus NightMare, Cristiano versus Classic. We have Shameless versus Beyond, and Skillless versus Percival. And Europe coming out swinging here. Oh my god. Again, Yakov advancing on Cristiano 2-0 Classic. That is crazy, by the way. Crazy impressive here. They both advance on into the semifinals. Bearing in mind, of course, we'll be jumping into those matches a little bit later.